Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, it looks like facts and truth have absolutely no place in this administration or in this Republican Party. We already knew that this administration lies like a rug. First, we heard that the United States was sending $50 million worth of condoms to Hamas, which was a lie. Then we heard it was Ukraine that started the war, not Russia. Another lie. Then we heard the terrible plane crash here in Washington happened because of diversity programs. Also a lie.
Señores, una vez más se demuestra cómo es que la administración de Donald Trump está hecho de promesas rotas. Y lo peor es que quienes confiaron en él ahora están pagando el precio. Cada vez más votantes de Trump están sintiendo la traición en carne propia. Y esto ya lo hemos reflejado incluso en el Congreso, donde ya es común escuchar abucheos para los republicanos MAGA e incluso para el propio Trump. Sean bienvenidos a Políticamente en Desacuerdo. Amigos, hoy veremos cómo es que los demócratas hacen público los ataques, la traición por parte de Donald Trump contra sus propios votantes. Así que los invito a que se queden hasta el final de este video porque traigo los detalles más interesantes. Ok, amigos, uno de los mejores ejemplos sobre este tema lo dio recientemente el congresista Jim McGovern, quien no solo desarmó a un congresista MAGA con unos comentarios brutales, sino que también dejó en evidencia que la gente que más está sufriendo en este momento por las decisiones de Trump son sus propios seguidores. Obviamente, pues todo esto lo tiene furioso, ¿no? Pero bueno, quiero que veamos el primer momento donde McGovern se enfrenta a los republicanos MAGA. Veamos este clip.
Well, in the spirit of bipartisanship, I encourage my Democrat colleagues to join me in support of this resolution to protect and champion hundreds of blue-collar American jobs in the heart of our country. And to my Republican colleagues, let's join together as a team and end this war on hydrocarbons now. President Trump's White House has explicitly endorsed this resolution, and I urge all of my Republican colleagues to join us and vote for this critical legislation to empower consumer choice and champion American manufacturing. And I'll close by saying we expect this vote later this week. I hope everyone in this House joins me in support of this legislation in defense of blue-collar American workers. Thank you. I yield.
The gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, we're here talking about billions of dollars of cuts to Medicaid and cuts to school meals and food for children, and this guy's talking about tankless water heaters. I mean, read the room. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, it looks like facts and truth have absolutely no place in this administration or in this Republican Party. We already knew that this administration lies like a rug. First, we heard that the United States was sending $50 million worth of condoms to Hamas, which was a lie. Then we heard it was Ukraine that started the war, not Russia. Another lie. Then we heard the terrible plane crash here in Washington happened because of diversity programs. Also a lie. Now the gentlelady from Indiana wants us to believe that not a single thing in the budget she is arguing for is going to hurt anyone at all. That there isn't a single tax giveaway to billionaires in their budget. But guess what, Mr. Speaker? It's simply not accurate. But we all saw this coming. We did. I mean, last month, Trump's inauguration, who was in the front row? It wasn't people on Medicaid. It wasn't factory workers. It wasn't nurses or teachers or firefighters. It wasn't even his own cabinet. It was the richest people in the world. And that is who this Republican budget helps. It steals from taxpayers and funnels the money to those at the very top. Imagine stealing from school meals for kids so that billionaires can get another tax giveaway. Last night in the Rules Committee, the gentlelady claimed, oh, no, Democrats can't prove there are any cuts in this budget. Except, Mr. Speaker, we can. We can. And let me lay it out as simply as I can for people. The Republican budget cuts, for example, $330 billion from programs related to education. And the same guy who wrote this budget the chair of the Budget Committee, Mr. Arrington, also wrote this document, Mr. Speaker, this document right here, which I have in front of me, which says in black and white that those education cuts include $12 billion from school meals. How dare you? And I'm sorry that she doesn't like these facts, but they are facts. And school meals are just one example. This budget makes deep, deep cuts to Medicaid, including long-term care, deep cuts to food assistance for hungry families, deep cuts to Pell Grants. And these cuts are going to hurt people. So I would just ask the gentlelady a simple question. Whose side are you on? Does she want to stand with the school kids in her district who rely on school meals to get through the day? Or does she side with the billionaires who are getting another tax giveaway in this budget? Does she stand with the 178,119 constituents in her district that are on Medicaid? Does she stand with the thousands and thousands of kids in her district who rely on school meals? Or does she stand with the greedy corporations who are price gouging struggling families? I know where I stand, Mr. Speaker, and we are going to fight like hell to oppose this awful Republican budget because we know whose side we're on. And we're going to fight like our constituents' lives depend on it because they do. And with that, I reserve my time.
Aquí va algo muy importante, amigos. La decisión de Trump de congelar fondos federales es algo que está afectando directamente, por ejemplo, a los agricultores. Y esto, amigos, no es un problema menor, porque muchos de ellos ya habían hecho inversiones basadas en los programas de financiamiento que en este momento están en el limbo. Por ejemplo, Rowell, un agricultor y apicultor en Massachusetts, tenía planeado instalar cercas para proteger sus cultivos, ¿no? Mejorar su sistema de irrigación, aplicar un método de mulch para todo el huerto. Pero bueno, todo esto iba a ser financiado con más de $30,000 solo en subvenciones federales. Pero ahora todo esto está detenido por una orden de Trump. Esta historia no es la única. Hay miles de agricultores que están en la misma situación. ¿Por qué? Porque Trump decidió frenar $19,000 millones destinados a programas de conservación en la agricultura. También bloqueó otros $3,000 millones para proyectos de energía renovable, modernización del campo, etc. Todo esto, amigos, incluían estos sistemas de pastoreo rotacional, todo lo que es para poder mejorar, ¿no?, la calidad del suelo, las instalaciones de paneles solares, que hoy en día casi todos los ocupan, conversión de riego de diésel a eléctrico y muchas otras cosas más. Amigos, todo esto se paralizó de un día para otro, así de simple. Amigos, los agricultores han sido, creo que una de las bases de apoyo más fuertes para Trump en estos meses de campaña. Y ahora lo están dejando en la ruina, literal, porque esto no solo afecta a los dueños de las granjas, sino que hablamos de toda la economía que gira en torno a ellas, ¿no? Proveedores de maquinaria, trabajadores de campo, transportistas, amigos, todo. Por eso, los economistas venían advirtiendo y siguen advirtiendo. Las decisiones de Trump pueden generar un impacto negativo en el crecimiento económico. Pero bueno, aquí entra también la hipocresía. Donald Trump se la pasa diciendo que es el rey de la economía, pero la realidad es que está saboteando sectores claves del país, una vez más incluyendo el agrícola. Ojo, no es solo una opinión, es una crisis real. La gente ya lo está sintiendo en sus bolsillos. Quiero que veamos otro momento en el cual el congresista McGovern lo deja claro, ¿no?, en una audiencia en el propio Congreso. Veamos este clip.
Farmers tell me that uncertainty complicates and frustrates their livelihoods, and we're living in a time of great uncertainty. And just for the record, I don't think we can pretend like the last 3 weeks haven't even happened. We can't ignore what this administration is saying and doing. Mr. Chairman, the state of the rural economy in this country is declining by the minute because Donald Trump has decided to let Elon Musk put billionaires first and America last. I mean, come on. Tariffs against our closest allies and ag trading partners. Gutting science programs while bird flu rips through poultry and livestock. Freezing money that has been promised to farmers for ongoing projects. Do my colleagues really think these are good for rural America? Trying to illegally purge the career staff at USDA, who we all know try to help rural communities. demagoguing programs that provide a legal immigrant workforce for our farmers, destroying global food aid programs that our farmers rely on every day to sell what they grow and produce. These things are not America first. These are policies of people who do not care about rural America at all. So let me just say this as clearly as I can, Mr. Chairman. The rural economy of this country is in big trouble unless things change. Now let me make this as simple as I can for people. USAID purchases $2 billion, that's billion with a B, worth of U.S. commodities every year. Grown by who? Grown by American farmers. That's soybeans, rice, wheat, sorghum, the vast majority of which are grown not in my district, but in your districts, in red states, in many of your districts. And then some weirdo named Elon, who's probably never set foot on a farm in his life, just decided to end it all, to eliminate entire markets for our commodity growers while prices are already low. And spare me the rebuttal of, quote, food aid was exempted from Elon's shutdown. That's BS. We are hearing from people on the front lines that is BS. Even the USAID Office of the Inspector General just said yesterday, and I quote, uncertainty about the scope of foreign assistance waivers and permissible communications with implementers has degraded USAID's ability to distribute and safeguard taxpayer-funded humanitarian assistance, end quote. So more than 475,000 metric tons of American food commodities valued at $450 million that were scheduled or in transit are now at risk of being wasted. And more than 29,000 metric tons of food commodities valued at $39 million are sitting on the floor of USAID warehouses in Houston. And I'm hearing reports that the so-called waiver of food aid is not helpful because these waivers are impossible to obtain. The freeze is already having dramatic consequences on rural communities. Companies that buy massive amounts of soy and peanuts to treat childhood malnutrition are shutting down. And these shutdowns are going to hit rural America like a ton of bricks. So I'm just saying to my Republican colleagues, is this what America first means to you? Sticking it to your own farmers by ripping the rug out from under them? Great job. I'm sure you'll go on TV talking about how great Trump is while he totally screws over the people we represent. So with that, I have a question for Mr. Weinzierl that I hope you can answer quickly. A simple yes or no is fine. If USAID is successfully dismantled and stops buying commodities for global food aid at over $2 billion, would that have a ripple effect on the farm economy, and do you think it would create uncertainty for our farmers?
I am not an expert in this area. There are a couple programs in USAID that I do see of value, which you've mentioned. One, the commodities, soy, and there's actually a corn-soy mix. I don't know if the amount there would be effective of the price, but I think that's important.
Señores, esto es lo que siempre decimos, la agenda MAGA es un desastre. Son personas que no entienden cómo funcionan los programas hasta que los destruyen. Y cuando lo hacen, las consecuencias son devastadoras. La gente pierde empleo, pierde estabilidad financiera, pierden granjas, y cuando el gobierno les da la espalda, ¿cómo van a confiar de nuevo? Lo más cínico de todo esto es que Trump quiere que la gente desconfíe del gobierno, quiere que pierdan la fe en las instituciones, para así poder seguir vendiéndose como la única solución. Pero amigos, no se dejen engañar. El problema no son solo las instituciones, el problema es que los republicanos MAGA las sabotean desde adentro. Por eso, amigos, es muy importante hablar de esto todos los días. Recordemos que en el primer mandato de Trump, los primeros afectados fueron y es el sector de agrícolas. Señores, hemos llegado hasta el final de este video. Como siempre, muchísimas gracias por haberme acompañado. Ya saben, si me quieren apoyar, regálame un like, comparte el video y suscríbete a nuestro canal Políticamente en Desacuerdo. Nos vemos en el próximo video. Hasta luego.